my YouTube channel. I've been postponing this, sometimes I tell myself, I don't have the time, I don't have the best camera, but I'm still not affording this camera. So today I just woke up in a good mood and I said, you know what, I must make a long form video today for my YouTube, because I've been making short videos for my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. There I post them here, but the longer videos is always just like I don't have time, I don't have the best quality camera. But I said, you know what, sometimes the value of what I say is more important than the production. So if you can get value from what I say, then the production, you can overlook the production. So yeah, this is my first video and I'm so excited to be doing this. And yeah, so let's dive into it. So today I wanted to talk about my journey with anxiety and how anxiety started for me, how I was in that cycle of anxiety and how I was able to get out. So yeah, let's dive in. So anxiety started for me when I was a teenager at that time. And what caused, I really don't like to dwell on what caused anxiety, because for everyone is different. For some people it can be the death of a loved one. For some people it can be, for example, me, it was the financial struggles of my dad. We used to live a quite good life. My parents were always available and everything. I literally, even when I went to therapists, and most of the time they told me to like look into my childhood trauma, I was like, no, my childhood was really good. Like I didn't have a problem with my childhood. So I was talking about how anxiety starts for different people. For example, me was financial struggles of my dad. Some people can be the death of a loved one, any life event really, even poverty, any life event really. And to some people it can start with a panic attack. You developed a panic attack and you started worrying about having another panic attack, and boom, you are in the anxiety cycle. Now symptoms. But I don't really like to dwell on what caused anxiety, because really it doesn't matter. You are in here and what you're focusing on is how you can be able to get out. So really the cause of it doesn't matter. So my childhood was quite good. I was a happy kid. We lived in happy estates. I went to good schools. Then my dad took a loan that he was not able to repay in good time. So the kind of life we were living, it went down. Like we were here and now we had to downgrade from urban life to rural life, from a good neighborhood to now a single room. Imagine a single room where you are sleeping there, but you can literally see your parents sleeping on that other side. You guys know what a single room is. So it was just so complicated. So that one really affected me because it was impromptu. It's something that happened all of a sudden. So I just started feeling sad. To me, because most people say that their anxiety started with a panic attack, mine didn't start with a panic attack. Mine started with some feelings of sadness, depression. Mine started with depression and feelings of unreality. And at this time, I didn't understand what was happening. To me, I thought that I was just sad because of the situation that was happening around me. I could see my dad struggle. I could see my family, like the kind of life we are used to now. We are not living that kind of life anymore. So I just felt some deep sadness, and this led me to depression. And also I struggled with feelings of unreality at that particular time. So because me, I didn't understand what was happening to me, and also I'm not a kind of person to tell people what I'm struggling with. Like when I'm still in the midst of that struggle, I'll not tell anyone. But it's something I'm working on. It's good, sometimes it's good to share, because if I would have shared that I was struggling at that time, then I don't think I would have been in the cycle for 6 years, because I struggled with anxiety for 6 years. So at that time, I didn't understand what was happening to me, and I thought that maybe after some time, this kind of feelings are gonna end, the depression, the feelings of unreality. But they were just getting worse. They were getting worse. Every day I was getting worse. And I don't know if I was still young or my prefrontal cortex had not developed, because I don't understand why I was not going to the hospital. Like I should have sought help, because I was after having the feelings of unreality, after struggling with depression for some time, now some symptoms also started coming up, like the chest pains, the headaches, the intrusive thoughts, sticky thoughts, the fatigue, the earworms, like 10,000 symptoms. If I were to name them one by one, then I don't think we'll finish this video. So I had tens, like if I were to write a book, I don't know if I could finish the symptoms that I had, but I had so many symptoms. So I ignored these symptoms. I ignored my symptoms. I ignored the depression. I ignored the feelings of unreality, but I was still fighting them. I was still resisting these symptoms. And as a result, I was having more symptoms. I was in school at that time and my performance dropped. You know, I'm the kind of person who, I was an average student, but at that time when I was struggling with anxiety, you had to look for my name from the bottom. You know the way in school, a list is out of how various people have performed from number one to number last. So my name had to be looked from the last page because anxiety, I was struggling with brain fog, I was struggling with, you know, I couldn't concentrate, I was struggling with memory loss, all these things. So of course my performance, it had an impact on my performance. And actually brain fog was the symptom that made me seek help. I was in school, most of the time I was crying, I couldn't understand, I had lost myself, I couldn't understand what was happening to me. You know, I lost friendships, I lost relationships. It was like I'm in this cocoon that I can't get myself out of. My anxiety also made me feel suicidal, and it is one of the reasons why I talk about it this much, because I'm like, you know, why should I be in my house just keeping quiet? I've struggled with anxiety, I've been able to overcome anxiety, but I'm just in my house keeping quiet while there is someone out there who is really struggling with anxiety, who is on the verge of suicide like me. Then why? Like, if my voice can bring a change out there, then why not? You know, sometimes you have to ask yourself this question: if I don't do it, then who will? So that's one of the reasons why I started this channel, because I'm like, I just can't keep quiet in the house. Well, so there's someone out there really struggling with anxiety. I had all the symptoms in the book. I struggled with panic attacks, I struggled with, you know, intrusive thoughts, I struggled with feelings of unreality, I struggled with physical symptoms. I literally had all the symptoms in the book. One day I remember I was just so teary, because with anxiety you can become so teary, you lash out to friends. My mom got the wrath of me because I used to like lash out. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says that whatever the mouth speaks, that's what is in the heart. I think it's something like that. What the mouth speaks, that's what is in the heart. Inside, I was not feeling okay. I was sad, I was depressed, I was bitter, I was angry. And it's not like that was me, it was anxiety that was manifesting in that way. So I used to lash out to friends, to my family. Then there's a day, I remember we were eating dinner with my family, and I just walked out of the sitting room. Then I went outside. Then I just started crying, because I was like, you know, suicidal thoughts come from the point of, I'm in this thing, I'm trying to overcome it, I'm frustrated by it, now I can't get out of this situation. That's the point where now someone starts feeling suicidal. Because also I struggled with depression, I think it was also part of it. Then I started crying. Then my dad followed me and he was like, what is wrong? Then I started explaining to him my symptoms, and the symptom that made me so act so much that now I wanted to like edit was memory loss, because I was forgetting things. I was like, I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate in school, I was performing poorly. Then I was like, no, this is not the kind of life I envisioned for myself. So at that point, I even wanted to end it all. Then I explained to my dad what was happening to me, and that's the first time he told me that maybe you should seek help from a psychiatrist. Things around mental health are things that I just used to see on TV. I used to read them on newspapers. I just used to see them happening to people, but I couldn't believe that they could arrive at my doorstep. So all this time that I was struggling, I never knew that I was having a mental issue, or it was something like that. Me, I just knew that, you know, I was affected by my dad's situation and it will get better one day, but it kept on getting worse. Then when my dad told me that you should seek help from a psychiatrist, then that's when, okay, I said, okay, maybe it's this. Then I went to the hospitals. I got 2 psychiatrists. Then I told them, I was crying at that time because I was in pain. So I told them, I even listed down my symptoms. Then I told them that this is what is happening to me. I'm struggling with these symptoms. I've tried everything, like nothing is working. What could be wrong with me? Then after listening to me, he wrote their anxiety. That's the first time I knew that anxiety is actually something that can affect someone to a point of it being crippling. Like you can't do anything, because that's the state that I reached. I was in my house, I was agoraphobic, I couldn't do shit. I was in my I was housebound. I struggled with fatigue. Like I was like a zombie, nothing, like I had no purpose. Then after writing this diagnosis, then you expect that, okay, it's this, then give me the meds, I go and take, and I get better, I start living my life. Instead, they were looking at me with agony, and one of them had the courage and told me that this is only something you can manage and cope, that you can't overcome this. Then I started crying because I was imagining, like, so this is me forever. Like, no. And always trust your gut. Your gut is your third eye. To me, I was just like, no, this is not, I literally can't live like this for the rest of my life. So I took the meds and just went home and took them. And I started taking these meds, but literally they were not of help to me. I felt fatigued, I felt numbed, I felt like I was a zombie. Like, meds didn't help me. Like, I just felt, I was like, okay, I'm taking this medicine, but instead I'm feeling fatigued, I'm feeling numb, I'm feeling it's like I'm a zombie then, and all these symptoms are also still here. Then why am I taking this meds? That's how I finished that dose, but never again took those meds, because personally meds didn't work for me. Then, because me, I always trust my instinct, my third eye, my gut, I started desperately looking for a solution for this, because I was like, I'm a free person, I love life. I was like, no, I can't live like this for the rest of my life. Then I went into self-discovery. I started reading books, I started researching. I was desperately searching for a solution for this, and that's when I encountered two books, At Last Alive by Paul David and Hope and Health for Your Nerves by Claire Weeks. And that's the beginning of my recovery journey. That's when I knew, like, I saw hope, I saw light at the end of the tunnel, because Claire Weeks is a physician. She rested. She's a physician who also struggled with anxiety and was using her own experience to help others. Paul David also was in the anxiety journey for 10 years and has written books to help others who are struggling with anxiety. Also me, I did psychology as a co-course in uni, so I had an idea of how the body and mind works. So, and also through my own experience, through what I struggled with, I fought anxiety for years, I resisted anxiety for years, I suppressed anxiety for years, and it was not working. So when I wrote those books, they kind of made sense to me. So my own experience, those books, and also the knowledge I had about how the body and mind works. So that's when I started recovering from anxiety. If you're watching this video, I want you to know that you can overcome anxiety, as opposed to what psychiatrists, as opposed to what psychologists say out there. You can actually overcome anxiety like I did. You just have to understand how the body and mind works, how you are contributing to anxiety, your unproductive patterns, the principles of anxiety recovery, and what you can do to lead you to healing. You are not, and by the way, emancipate yourself from that victim mentality that you're mentally ill. You are not mentally ill. Your nerves are sensitized. That's why you're having this. If your nerves are sensitized, you're gonna have the intrusive thoughts, the panic attacks, the feelings of unreality, the painful emotions, like literally everything. Whatever you're feeling are a symptom of anxiety, are a symptom of nervous sensitization. That's why when you go to the hospital, it is really hard for doctors to know what is wrong with you. They'll just tell you it's anxiety and give you pills and give you SSRIs that this is what you have to take for you to, manage anxiety. But you can overcome anxiety. It is not a lifelong illness. There is recovery from anxiety. You have just not gotten someone to hold your hand and give you the right information that, this is what you are actually doing that is keeping the anxiety cycle alive. This is how the body and mind works. These are your unproductive patterns. If you learn all these things, recovery from anxiety is all about learning, understanding, and applying what you have learned. After that, you're gonna get your life back. You're gonna get your freedom back. So in this channel, I'll be sharing about how I was able to recover from anxiety, what is happening to you at that, when you're struggling with anxiety, what you should do to get your life back. I'll be sharing everything about anxiety, the stages of anxiety, what is happening at that time when you're struggling with anxiety, how the body and mind works, and what you can do to get your life back. So stay tuned. I'll be releasing a video here every 2 days. So stay tuned.